I hope it's better now. I had my for some reason I had my um microphone settings all wonky on the I had no idea uh, what happened because sometimes, just sometimes, um, Streamlabs does a trick where it the kind of loses the main microphone. It shows up as microphone that and that the device name, but when I click it open, it just shows nothing. Just blank, just blank, nothing, and it might go a long way before I even notice that there is something going on without the microphone. And yeah, anyway, check the links. Check my links in the description box. There are uh, playlists and other stuff, other fancy stuff, um, and my Patreon, etc., etc. And I think my PayPal link is there too. There have been some changes to terms of service on Patreon, but that is another matter. Because most of my viewers are not on my patrons. And as Katz mentioned last time, uh, when I had him and my dear Mr. 42, um, the monetizing policy of YouTube has actually uh, changed a bit. Um, let's see. Where do we have it? Um, so now I need 500 subscribers and 3,000 viewing hours to get partial monetization. I'll get, I would get I would get channel memberships and super chats. And if I chose to have a web store, if I had some product to sell, I could make them links available under my videos. But that is something. And then um, at when I reach 1,000 subs and 4,000 hours, that would then give me the ads or have the ads run on my videos, and then and ads on my shorts feed. But I do not do short videos, although shorts. Okay, so let's see. What is homophobia? That's just a moment. Okay, so there is actually a song and a short film called Homophobia, by the way. And anyway, according to Wikipedia, homophobia encompasses a range of negative attitudes and feelings towards homosexuality or people who identify or are perceived as being lesbian, gay, or bisexual. And this all typically goes hand in hand with transphobia. Homophobia it has been defined as contempt, prejudice, aversion, hate, or antipathy, maybe based on irrational fear, and maybe sometimes related to um, religious beliefs, which it, for the most part, I believe it is. There is institutional homophobia in many countries, and for the most part, in in the Western world, and for most countries, um, being gay is legal. There are lot of people who do not wish to ha- wouldn't want in the Western world wouldn't want the homosexuality being illegal for some reason. For the most part, for the most part, for their religious convictions. There are 80 countries around the world where homosexuality is considered illegal. That is, in most of these are in Africa, uh, the Middle East, and Asia. So, and there are a few in South America that do not. Sometimes there are at least one country in South America where being gay is actually illegal, and some islands in the Caribbean where it's illegal. But for the most part, for the rest of the Americas, it's legal, as well as South Africa, Australia, New Zealand, and so forth. But there are five countries that carry the death penalty for homosexual activity, and in and two in some regions by militia. And would it be any surprise to any one of you, if I told you that none of these countries are Christian, nor are they secular countries? These five countries are all, sorry, seven countries are all are Muslim countries: Iran, Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Sudan, and Yemen. Um, since the Islamic Revolution of 1979 in Iran, the government has executed more than 4,000 people charged with homosexual acts. In Saudi Arabia, maximum penalty is death, but other means are used. And in some parts of these countries, it's illegal. Nigeria and Somalia. So all Muslim countries, well, for the majority, at least. However, that is, it's dangerous to be queer in the Christian world, because according to um, yeah, it's crazy. I lost my train of thought, but it's dangerous to be queer. According to statistics, three in in light of homicide statistics, it the three most dangerous countries for example, trans people are in this order: Brazil, Mexico, and the United States of America. Now, it's not unheard of that in the States, people, and in one elsewhere in the Western world, people are being beaten to death, but just for being gay. It happens. Now, would it surprise to you? Be any surprise to you? Um, if I told you that the most watched that in the Bible Belt they consume more pornography than elsewhere in the states, and when on not much more, but yes, yet. Um, but in the Bible Belt, um, with which are let me see, what does the good old Wikipedia define it as? The Bible Belt is a region in southern United States and one midwestern state, the state of Missouri, all of which all of which all in which socially conservative Protestant Christianity plays a strong role. And there is then the Mormons in Utah and Idaho. Then if you go further north, and in these areas, the Bible Belt is the place where most of the gay porn in the United States is consumed. And also, the contraception thing is also a problem there, because let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yes, can we see any correspondence? So we have most teen pregnancy rates, all the only it corresponds exactly to the Bible Belt. Exactly. So it's the southern states, it's the Bible Belt where they have the most teen pregnancies. So they are also obsessed with transgender porn. So Republicans secretly love what they publicly hate. So that's the Midwest, and that's the Bible Belt over there. So, and then we have more there in Utah and the Midwest. So basically, femboy doesn't really count, but so most transgender porn obsessed states and metro areas. Yeah. So it's basically Kentucky, Colorado, Texas. Yeah. Transgender porn related searches. It's all there. Yeah. You never know. Okay. As for the roots, so it's by the religious assholes who most oppose this the homosexuality, um, call it unnatural and so forth. And there is, at least according to um, a very old study uh, by William James, um, from 1890, actually, as early as then, presumed that being repulsed by the idea of intimate contact with a member of their own of the same sex is instinctive and exists more strongly in men than women, which is quite interesting. But it's still unnatural considered in many places. But anyway, the bulk of studies have sought to uncover um, the correlates of negative attributes. Some findings are slightly contradictory, such as relationship between sexual conformity, i.e., masculinity, femininity, and so forth. Uh, but in general, uh, there are consistent patterns that I could find on a PBS frontline article, which um, sum up very well what I found elsewhere. Um, Several studies, when compared to those with more favorable attitudes towards lesbian and gay people, um, the studies have found that persons with negative attitudes, one, are less likely to have had personal contact with lesbians or gays. Two, are less likely to report having engaged in homosexual behavior or to identify themselves as lesbian or gay. Are more likely to perceive their peers as manifesting negative attitudes, especially if the respondents are males. Uh, are more likely to have resided in areas where negative attitudes are the norm, i.e., the Bible Belt, the Midwestern and United Southern U.S., the Canadian prairies, and rural areas or small towns, especially during adolescence. And they are more likely to be older and less educated, are more likely to be religious, to attend church frequently, and to subscribe to a conservative religious ideology. We get a pattern here that we see all around. Now, they are more likely to express traditional restrictive attitudes about sex roles in general, less permissive sexually, or manifest more guilt or negativity about sexuality. Although some research shows that have not they have not some research has not observed this pattern, and others reports a substantially reduced correlation. And nine, are more likely to manifest high level of authoritarianism and related personality characteristics. So conservative, more religious, more conservative, more authoritarian, and related personality types. Is that something we see quite often? Yes, and it's quite hot with this. Yeah, okay, let's have this chat. Um, okay, emphasis on the irrational. Yes, these are irrational fears. Seems to me that the religious spend way too much time worrying about other sex lives. Yes, if I can't have sex, nobody can. Mentality. Yeah, um, that's like small children. If I can't have it, no one can, and that is something that we often see with in what do you call it? Spousal violence. What do you call it? Yeah, when you see when a when a partner kills when one kills their partner, they'll you often hear, if I can't have her, no one can. So Let's get the viewer count. Uh, like so. So I know the States can be a tough place for a queer person, and but many countries in Europe, especially in the Western Europe, can be a bit more, shall we say, merciful with countries like with the likes of Finland, Germany, Sweden, and Peter. Yes, I absolutely agree that sex needs to be destigmatized. So it's a huge thing because a lot of the time, even even heterosexual sex is heavily stigmatized because it's a traditional religious view that um, sex is somehow dirty and sinful for some curious reason, which I just don't understand really. Honestly, I just don't get it. So it's weird, and that's how we often get. That's why we get all this stigmatizing statements from the religious people. Um, so as I was saying, the US can be a bit kinky place for queer people, especially given the current political atmosphere. But as I have spoken about, as I spoke about earlier, uh, with the situation in Denmark and Germany, where they are about to legalize the legal transition for minors uh, under certain under certain circumstances. Uh, so the Nordic countries and then Western European countries like Germany, the Netherlands, and so forth are very permissive. But I have no Peter. Is there how does Australia compare to say Finland, Germany, the Nordic countries in general? Did you know? By the way, talking about pornography, did you know that? Um, where did I have it? Okay, that the only um, okay, just in Europe, um, if I can find it quickly, um, did you know that the possession, the sale, possession, and production of pornography in Europe is illegal, for example, in Iceland, Lithuania, Ukraine, and, and the Vatican City, of all places. And it's restricted in, for example, the United Kingdom is restricting the sale, possession, and production of pornography. So, and funny thing is that, for example, Bulgaria, the sale and production is illegal, but possession is okay. So it's weird. It's in uh, it doesn't give any details as to why, but that's how it is. And in Australia, it's restricted. Online stuff is legal in Australia. DVDs, magazines are 18 plus and cannot be purchased in Australian Capital Territory and some parts of Northern Territory. Uh, um, over 100 indigenous communities in Northern Territory are classified as dry communities, where it's illegal to sell alcohol and pornography. I have no idea how we got into talking about whether or not pornography is legal, but maybe it had to do with um, the gay porn consumed. Um, yeah, continuing, sex needs to be destigmatized for such natural thing. It has been turned into a bad thing by religions. Aussie has become way less homophobic since I was a young one. Uh-huh. Spider rains happens in Australia, probably. Maybe we can get more about that from Peter. Thank God for the internet. Except if you live in um, where was it? Australian Capital Territory, some parts of Northern Territory, and 100 plus indigenous communities where it's illegal to purchase um, alcohol and watch porn. So anyway, thank God for the internet. Yeah, thank God for thank God for Heidi's Corner being so queer. Anyway, mm, the whiskey is really good. I bought it from Heathrow Airport. It was where it was probably overpriced as hell, but I didn't. But I just didn't want to spend my time uh, looking for a liquor store. Jens tells us his second job was at the online branch of an adult entertainment company. Oh my. Oh dear. Um, dare I ask? Dare I ask what you did on the o- um on the adult entertainment company? Dirty stuff. Dirty stuff. Yeah, actually, a friend of mine tried to apply for a job at um, network and system admin. Okay, that would work for me if I. I mean, I've actually considered switching to a new profession at some point, but not now because I get paid too well for this, and then actually the government we um, our current government elected it into office just earlier this year. Um, happened to be um, uh, we had a thing where the government would pay you an X amount of money for an X amount of time if you decided to study and to get an other degree in some in another field, switch completely to something else. However, it wasn't much. It was maybe for 2 years, and X amount of um an X. It wasn't that much. It was maybe €1,000 a month for 2 years or something like that. But now it's they are actually the current right wing government, which has been titled internationally as the right wing fascist government. They are going to demolish that system. So now I have the shift things that I want. We just got the new lists today, so I have I will be working a day shift. The next day shift I'll be on is in a month from now. And on the 6 week list that I have now, that is starting in a week from now, on the 16th. I'll On the 6 week list I'll have only, I think, 6 evening shifts. Six, 6 evening shifts for 6 weeks. So that's quite nice. Ooh, we have 4 viewers. Hmm. And let's see. Oh, by the way, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. Let's see. I think we are approaching 250. Uh, yes, this is the 445th video that is going on right now. This one. So I will have a special um, I will have a special video when I achieve 250 videos, and as well as if I ever reach 200. I've been close but not quite there. But I want to celebrate the 200 views, the 200 subs, more than sooner or later. So if you wanna, okay, we have in the chat someone I haven't actually seen before. That at least I don't recall. It's UTSKO. K Queso. Okay. Yeah, they actually. Yeah, they did fire McCarthy. Which is quite interesting to say the least. So. Ooh. UTSK says not wanting to be gay by association causes homophobia. Yes. Uh, don't want to be called gay because my homie gay. I am gay. Yes, precisely. Precisely. Um, it's it's the sort of internalized homophobia, kind of that you that comes from your society. Really, if you don't, um, if you grow up in sort of the environment where it's not okay to be gay, so therefore you internalize that idea, and then you hammer it into yourself. You hammer it into yourself that you don't want to be seen anywhere near someone who is or it actually is, or or um, could be perceived as gay. So that, which is quite interesting concept in its own self. So okay, first, okay, then Bowie says fascist troop in the U.S. fired Kevin McCarthy, uh, but wants Trump Dumpty to be new Speaker of the House. Really? Are you kidding me? They cannot. They possibly couldn't. What realistically think they could get Trump Dumpty? Oh, look at that painting there. That was actually painted by a friend of my brother's, which is interesting. Um, Peter says, "I'm not gay. Good for you, but I have no problems associating with LGBTQ plus people. Well, if you did, you wouldn't be here, would you now? And they are all people when it's said and done. Yes, Trader Trump needs to be in jail. Okay, and there was a poll on X or slash Twitter, um, guessing on how long he'll be in jail. And one option was probably, if I recall correctly, that he won't be going jail, that he'll be acquitted on all charges. Okay. Um, okay. Let's. It's getting late, so I want to end. I want to probably. I think I want to end this video um, with by um, showing you a picture and reading a text, because this trade. Okay, so let's have, because we need to put things in perspective. Because I think, hmm, okay, can I get a picture on the um, stream? Okay, so I can. Oh, yeah. Now that my friends, is the pale blue dot. And I want to read, before we go. I want to read what Carl Sagan said about this. Look again at that dot. That's home. That's us. On it, everyone you love, everyone you know, everyone you ever heard of, every human being who ever was, lived out their lives. The aggregate, the aggregate of our joy and suffering, thousands of confident religious ideologies, and economic doctrines, every hunter and forager, every hero and coward, every creator and destroyer of civilization, every king and every peasant, every young couple in love, every mother and father, hopeful child, inventor and explorer, every teacher of morals, every corrupt politician, every superstar, every supreme leader, every saint and sinner in the history of our species lived there on a mote of dust suspended in a sunbeam. Pale blue dot. Peter says, uh, pale blue dot. All life that you know has ever existed on this pixel. That is a small pixel, and we're there. And that actually inspired pale blue dot. Inspired me to get a tattoo actually that I have on my left leg. It's a half sleeve space tattoo. So, and it has a space comma in it. Now, it's humbling. But now it's time for me to love you and leave you. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.